Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time you'll be watching this session. Welcome to your one stop newspaper review at Prime Media TV. I am Ayo and I'll be reviewing with you today. But before we go into all that we have for you today, let's go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the newspaper review for the 8th of February 2024. Like I said earlier, we have quite a number of headlines to be reviewed with you today. Let's go into the news in details. Our first headline today will be taken from The Punch, and it says Nigerians spent $98 billion on foreign trips, education in 10 years, says CBN. Nigerian spending on foreign education, healthcare, and personal travels gulped over $98 billion in 10 years, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria data. The CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso, who made the disclosure while addressing the House of Representatives on Tuesday, was responding to an inquiry by the lawmakers on the factors behind the rapid depreciation of the naira in the last few weeks. He spoke against the backdrop of the central bank's battle to stabilize the exchange rate amid dollar shortage. The lawmakers had invited Cardoso and other economic managers following last week's plunge of the naira from about 900 to a dollar to over 1,400 naira to a dollar at the official market. Members of the organized private sector and Nigerians have raised concerns over development, saying it would lead to more hardship and job losses. However, speaking with the lawmakers, Cardoso argued that the foreign exchange market was facing increased demand pressures, causing a continuous decline in the value of the naira. According to him, factors contributing to this situation include speculative forex demand, inadequate forex due to low remittance of crude oil earnings to the CBN, increased capital outflows, and excess liquidity from fiscal activities. To address exchange rate volatility, he said a comprehensive strategy had been initiated to enhance liquidity in the FX markets. This includes unifying FX market segments, clearing outstanding FX obligations, introducing new operational mechanisms for bureau de change operators, enforcing the net open position limit for commercial banks, and adjusting the remunerable standing deposit facility cap. Cardoso revealed that between 2010 and 2020, foreign education expenses amounted to a substantial $28.65 billion as per the CBN's publicly available balance of payment statistics. Similarly, medical treatment abroad incurred around $11.1 billion in cost during the same period. Within the same period, personal travel allowances accounted to a total of $58.7 billion. Cumulatively, Nigerians spent about $98 billion on foreign trips, medical tourism, and overseas education, a figure that the CBN governor said was more than the total foreign exchange reserves of the central bank. The governor of the CBN, while the CBN governor was addressing the House of Representatives on Tuesday on depreciation of the naira in the last few weeks, he said a dollar to naira has moved from 900 naira to 1,400 naira in the official market. You can imagine the amount the local market, the black market are currently selling it. A dollar to naira now is equivalently in the black market around 1,500 naira. Now, according to him, he said from 2010 to 2020, over $28 billion was spent on foreign education. Now, like that, Nigerians should try to make a recap of this. Foreign education actually started when a lot of people just want to fit in into society standard. Parents want to send their children to school abroad because they know as soon as their children get back from the university abroad, a good job awaits them, a good standard of living awaits them. A lot of people will be rushing at them to employ them. Why? Because the school abroad. So many parents want to fit into society standard, and it is the reason why majority of them send their children abroad then. But as at 10 years ago, as at 15 years ago, many parents, a lot of people who could afford to send their children abroad were children of whose parents are rich. But looking at the case, as the case may be now, even people that are not even well to do, some persons had to sell their properties, sell their belongings in order to travel out of the country because of the poor educational sector in our country. Now, you attest with me that Nigeria has the largest number of university in the world. If you calculate the total number of higher institutions in Nigeria, including universities, polytechnics, and even college of education, we have over 170 higher institutions in this country. But I would like to ask you, how many of our top politicians have their students schooling in these Nigerian universities? I will leave you to give an answer to that. How many of our top personnels, people who are well to do, will want their children to school in Nigeria? I will leave you to answer that. And here, the CBN governor is saying, in the space of the last 10 years, over $22 billion has been spent on foreign education. I would like us to move on to the next. He says medical treatment abroad incurred around 11.1 billion dollars. Recently, our president went to France on a private visit. According to Vanguard, we were made to understand that the private visit was actually for an health checkup, that our president wasn't really feeling too well and he needed to do this health checkup. And here we were told that it was a private visit. If we want the people to patronize the start from the top, by the time our presidents, our governors, our senators, our ministers are patronizing the health sectors in the country, it will make a lot of Nigerians to believe that our health sectors are properly equipped and they will want to patronize the health sectors in this country. But if the people who are supposed to be a model to us are the one who are patronizing the health sectors outside the country, what do you expect of a normal Nigeria? What do you expect of a common Nigeria? What do you expect a common Nigerian to do? What do you expect? Do you expect a common Nigerian to jeopardize their life all because they want to patronize the health sector in Nigeria? Of recent, just last week, a man from Ibadan said he took his wife to the University of Ibadan Teaching Hospital, and because he was unable to afford certain things that they asked him to pay, he said they had to discharge his wife while she no, not the wife, the mother, while she was still very sick, and in the process they lost the woman. Of recent, a, a man lost his wife at the teaching hospital in Lagos. Why? Because there was no power supply. And you expect a lot of Nigerians to still go ahead and patronize the health sector in this country. So I believe if we want a change in the health sector, if we don't want our people to patronize the health sectors outside the country, it should start from the top. Let's see our governors, our ministers, and every other top personnel in the country patronizing the health sectors. Then um, make us convinced that the health sector is something to be trusted. And to move on, he said within the same period, 58.7 billion naira was spent on travel allowance. I believe it is not every common Nigerian that can afford to go on cruising to other parts of the country. I believe it is not every common Nigerian that can afford to go on a yacht visit to the outside country. These things are actually, if you look at the large number of people that are going on this travel, whatever, they are the top personnel. Are they trying to tell us that there are no people, there are no places in this country where they can visit for their cruising and every other thing? I will leave Nigerians to ruminate about these things. that it is not the common Nigerians that has spent this 98 billion naira on foreign trips, education, and travel, whatever, in the last 10 years. Most of the people who are doing these things are actually the top personnel. So if we can get our top personnel to feel what we are feeling, maybe, just maybe, the country will become a better place. And this will lead us to this news, the second news that we have to be reviewed with you today. And it's in relation to the protests at Mina recently. The Mina protests over high prices of food in Nigeria. According to federal government, they said there is no food shortage in Nigeria. The ruling party is currently blaming the opposition party for sponsoring the Niger and Mina protests over high cost of living. Do you think common Nigerians who are hungry can be brainwashed to do this thing? Just imagine, a derica of rice is 2,000 naira. At of maize is 1,000 naira as we speak currently. And here is the federal government. They are saying that there is no there is no food shortage, but the only thing that is happening right now is that there is high cost of living. And according to federal government, they said that Nigerians are actually hoarding the food stuff, and it is the reason why food stuff are expensive. I want to ask you, is this how it is at your end? The Minister for Information and National Orientation yesterday, after the meeting at the presidential villa, Mohammed Idris said the cost of the high food rate is actually as a result of Nigerians ordering food. I want to ask you, if the food is made available, do you think Nigerians are actually ordering food as we speak? Do you think Nigerians are currently the reason behind this high cost of living? Well, there is actually a good news. Mohammed Idris, the Minister for Information and National Orientation, he said food reserved around the country will be open to Nigerians to have access to. So this is a good news. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our fingers crossed while we await this food reserved to be open. Do you expect Nigerians to trust this administration to keep to their words and to do what they have proposed? Right now, like I said earlier, we are going to keep our fingers crossed to see if this food reserve will truly be opened for Nigerians to have access to limitless food supply. Don't you think what this administration should be doing is actually to deal with issues on ground and stop chasing shadows and stop chasing clauses and stop pointing accusing fingers? According to them, they said it is the opposition party that are orchestrating these protests all over the country. I want to ask you, do you think this is actually the next thing? And this will lead us to the last headlines that we have for today. And the headline says, Court orders FG to fix prices of goods in 7 days. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos on Wednesday ordered the federal government to fix the price of goods and petroleum products within 7 days from today. Justice Ambrose Lewis Alagua granted the other sequel to an originating motion filed and argued by the applicant, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana. Falana had dragged the Price Control Board and the Attorney General of the Federation, both of whom are listed as defendants before the court, to determine whether by virtue of Section 4 of the Price Control Act, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, the first defendant is carrying out its duty to impose a price on any goods that are of the kind specified in the first schedule to the Price Control Act. In an affidavit in support of the summons taken out by the senior advocate and deposed to by a legal practitioner from his firm, Taiwo Olawanle, the deponents noted that the following commodities, bicycles and its spare parts, flour, matches, milk, motorcycles and its spare parts, motor vehicles and spare parts, salt, sugar, petroleum products, including diesel, petrol motor spirit, and kerosene are listed in the Price Control Act. He also noted that the Act gives the Price Control Board powers to fix the prices of this wide array of commodities. That though the price of the commodities is supposed to be fixed by the board, the only petroleum products that are fixed to a certain amount are not being enforced. That the price of a bag of rice, which was formerly 8,000 naira, has risen to 45,000 naira in the market, and that the situation in the market is by each passing day becoming more unbearable for consumers as prices of goods keep rising on a daily basis. Sellers are not always sincere as they are so desperate to make excessive profits at the expense of buyers. Food prices which human beings should not be deprived of are on the high side due to a lack of price fixing by the first defendants. The buyers are at the receiving end when the prices of goods are increased as they tend to suffer for it more. That the increase in the price of goods has forced various categories of eateries and canteens to increase the prices of their meals, attributing the high cost to unstable and unfavorable prices of farm produce. That there is a need for the first defendant to rise up to the task of imposing prices on these commodities. That unless the defendants are mandated by the court to wake up to their responsibilities, the prices of goods will continue to skyrocket. The senior advocate therefore sought the following claim released from the courts: a declaration that by virtue of Section 4 of the Price Control Act cap, the defendants are under a legal obligation to fix the prices of bicycles and spare parts, flour, matches, milk, motorcycles and spare parts, motor vehicles and spare parts, salt, sugar and petroleum products, including diesel, petrol motor spirit and kerosene. A declaration that the failure or refusal of the defendant to fix the prices of bicycles and spare parts, flour, matches, milk, motorcycles and spare parts, motor vehicles and spare parts, salt, sugar, and petroleum products, including diesel, petrol motor spirit, and kerosene, is illegal as it offends the provision of Section 4 of the Price Control Act, cap, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. An order directing the defendant to fix the price of bicycles and spare parts. After listening to the senior advocate today, Justice Lewis Alogwa said, I have heard the applicant, Femi Falano, and I have also discovered that despite the services of the originating motion on the respondent, namely Attorney General of the Federation and Price Control Board, there is no opposition to it by way of a counter affidavit, which in law means that all the facts deposed in the affidavit attached to the originating motion are all deemed admitted. Consequently, all prayers that are sought for in the motion papers are hereby granted as prayed. The judgment then ordered the Nigerian government to fix the price of milk, flour, salt, sugar, bicycles and its spare parts, matches, motorcycles and its spare parts, motor vehicles and its spare parts, as well as petroleum products, which include diesel, petrol motor spirits, and kerosene. This is actually good news on the part of Nigerians. I hope Nigerians will be rejoicing as at now. But let's keep our fingers crossed and see what the next 7 days hold for all Nigerians, since the court has ordered that the federal government should fix prices of goods and services. I'm sure part of the things mentioned in this act is not part of the things you expect to have reduced. In case there are things you expect to go, there are things you are expecting their prices to be reduced as well that are not included in what the court has said, you can include them on your own in the comment section. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us on this session of the newspaper review for the 8th of February 2024. Before we leave the session today, we would like that you follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook and on Instagram, we go by Prime Media TV. Do well to like and follow us on our social media platform. At the same time, you can follow us on our website at enginespeak.com to get back to back on all that we do in the studio here. Also on YouTube, you can follow us at enginespeak.com. Thank you all so much for staying tuned with us until this session. Till I come your way again. I am Ayo. Do have a great day.